Right now, your network could be under attack and you might not even know it. Imagine cyber criminals silently lurking within your systems, collecting vital information, learning your network's every move, and preparing for the perfect moment to strike. Sounds like a movie plot, right? But this is no Hollywood thriller. It's happening and it's real. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, just issued an emergency alert. Hackers are now exploiting vulnerabilities in F5 big IP devices using nothing more than your session cookies. What is F5 Big EAP and why does it matter so much? F5 Big EAP. You might have heard of it, but do you really know how crucial it is? Think of F5 Big IP as the master gatekeeper of a network. These devices are responsible for load balancing, optimizing traffic, and securing the data flow for major organizations worldwide. We're talking about global banks, government agencies, healthcare systems. Everyone relies on these devices to keep their operations running smoothly. But here's the twist. Because F5 Big IP is so vital, it's also a massive target. Threat actors know that if they can compromise these systems, they gain a backdoor into some of the most sensitive networks in the world. That's why CISA is sounding the alarm. They've detected a growing trend of cyber criminals exploiting a vulnerability that could give them access to your entire network, all through a single, seemingly innocent session cookie. The chilling reality: how attackers exploit F5 Big IP cookies. Here's the part that should make you pause. Threat actors aren't smashing their way into your systems with brute force. No, they're slipping in unnoticed, and they're using something you've probably never considered dangerous: session cookies. When you log into a service, session cookies are created to keep your connection active. But in this exploit, hackers intercept these cookies, using them to impersonate authorized users. It's called network reconnaissance, and it's their way of quietly mapping out your entire network, identifying vulnerabilities, critical systems, and entry points for future attacks. And here's the kicker: they do it without triggering any alarms. No flashing red lights, no alerts from your firewall. These attackers are patient, and they're gathering all the intel they need to launch a full-scale attack whenever they choose. Think about that. Someone could be studying your network right now, and you wouldn't even know it. CISA's urgent warning. What's driving the hype? When CISA speaks, you better listen. This is the agency responsible for protecting critical US infrastructure from cyber threats. They don't issue warnings like this unless the threat is real and the danger is imminent. CISA's warning about F5 Big IP cookies is part of a broader alert about advanced persistent threat actors, or APTs, using this vulnerability to gain an upper hand. These are not run-of-the-mill hackers. These are sophisticated, organized cybercriminal groups, and they're after high-value targets: banks, healthcare systems, government agencies. If you're using F5 Big IP, you're in their sights. And what makes this particularly frightening? Once they exploit these cookies, they can impersonate legitimate users, move laterally through your systems, and access data you thought was secure. We're talking about the potential for espionage, intellectual property theft, financial losses, and even operational sabotage. This is why CISA is raising the red flag, because waiting too long could be catastrophic. Real-world attack, a devastating example. This isn't just a theoretical risk. Let me take you to the front lines of a recent attack where this exact vulnerability was exploited. A global financial institution, considered one of the most secure in its industry, became the victim of a devastating breach. The attackers, using stolen session cookies, performed reconnaissance on their network for months. By the time the attack was discovered, it was too late. The hackers had mapped out the company's entire network, including critical customer data and financial records. Using this knowledge, they executed a ransomware attack that froze the company's operations for days, costing millions of dollars in ransom payments and lost revenue. The breach didn't just hurt the company financially, it severely damaged their reputation. Now imagine this happening to your organization. This is why it's crucial to take this threat seriously. Because if they can hit a financial giant, they can hit anyone. Now that we understand the threat, let's talk solutions. What can you do to protect your network? Fortunately, there are steps you can take to defend against these attacks. Step 1. Patch your F5 BGI IP systems immediately. F5 has released updates that address these vulnerabilities. If you haven't applied them yet, do it now. These patches are your first line of defense. Step 2. Encrypt your session cookies. Make sure all cookies are secured with strong encryption algorithms. This makes it exponentially harder for attackers to use stolen cookies to access your network. Step 3. Limit the lifespan of session cookies. By reducing the amount of time a session cookie is valid, you minimize the window of opportunity for attackers to exploit it. Step 4. Monitor your network traffic closely. Set up alerts for any unusual activity or unexpected connections. Advanced tools like intrusion detection systems, IDS, can help catch these reconnaissance efforts before they turn into full-blown attacks. And finally, consider adopting zero trust architecture. This strategy assumes that every connection, even from trusted users, could be compromised. By enforcing stricter access controls and continuously authenticating users, you make it far more difficult for attackers to move through your network undetected. Listen, I can't stress this enough. Time is running out. Cyber criminals are already exploiting these vulnerabilities, and they are not slowing down. Every minute you delay, you're giving them more time to get into your systems. And once they are in, the damage can be irreparable. Don't make the mistake of thinking this won't happen to you. Organizations that ignored past warnings are now paying the price in millions of dollars, lost and irreparable damage to their reputations. So here's what you need to do. Update your systems, encrypt your cookies, monitor your network, and adopt a zero-trust approach. The hackers are coming, but you don't have to be their next victim. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest cybersecurity updates. Hit the bell icon so you never miss critical warnings like this. Your network depends on it.